This is what I have to deal with.
No, it's so quiet.
Hey guys, welcome back to the Atlas podcast. Today I'm with Issa Pecini.
Hi, one more podcast and the fight for today.
The second podcast together. Yeah, we did one together in January this year when we were in Toronto. Now we're going to do our second one together. So she's here visiting me before the Olympia from Brazil. So she's been in Montreal for the past 10 days or so. And we have another 4 or 5 days to go before she heads to Vegas for the Olympia.
Yeah.
So we asked you guys to send us your questions in and we got a bunch. The first one was, Issa, what is the craziest thing James has done since you've been staying with him? I'm normal.
Sick. You woke up me 3 a.m. to go sick.
Yeah, but that's fine.
You are more like a different thing.
So the reason I woke up at 3 o'clock in the morning because she wakes me up at 5 o'clock in the morning every day. And I go to bed around 3. So one night she was sleeping and I heard her get up to go to the bathroom. And I was about to go to bed. So when she got out of the bathroom, I was like, do you want to just, she like laid back down for 2 seconds. And I was like, wait, do you want to just do a check-in right now? And she was like, okay. So instead of me waking up again in 2 hours to do a check-in at 5 o'clock, I was like, let's just do a check-in now. We're at 3 o'clock in the morning. So
Okay.
yeah, that was my revenge on you, but nothing too crazy. So Issa, second question, why is Issa on low calories or is it just a phase?
It's just a thing right now. My diet is not so low calorie, right?
Yeah.
For me, my diet now is okay.
Yeah, I'm going to check how many calories are right now.
I still have banana in my diet.
Yeah.
2 weeks out.
2 weeks out banana in her diet. She's happy about that.
Yeah.
She's on probably like 1,600 calories right now, which is good. I don't want her food to get higher if possible, because the higher the amount of food that I have to feed her, the harder it's going to be to peak her. So if she's waking up every single day exactly where I want her to be, and that maintains throughout peak week, her peak is going to be so much easier because I'm not going to have to she's not going to be going flat too fast and I'm not going to have to be feeding her every hour. So the less amount of food where she's satisfied and not starving all day and where her body just likes to be, she's able to wake up exactly where I want her to be, the easier it is going to be to peak her. So if she's on 3,000 calories right now, that means that her body's going to be burning through a lot of food and she's going to be going flat a lot faster. So it's a much easier for me if I give her 1,500 calories. She goes to bed at a certain weight and wakes up exactly where we should be, which is around, she does kgs, around like 59.5 to 59.9 kgs, exactly where I want her to be as far as where she looks the best. And it's really easy because she's just eating like 5 meals a day right now, decent amount of, not too many carbs, probably I think like about 80 to 100 grams of rice per meal. We had a banana in one and she's having a decent amount of fats as well. Nothing crazy where I have to feed her 3,000 calories. That is not a situation you want to be in, because especially when you add in the extra stress of the Olympia and going to the show, we'll probably have to increase your food because that's going to be just the stress is going to be burning calories. Plus being in Vegas is very dry and very hot. So also there, if she's spending a little bit of time outside, she might be losing a bit more water too. So the less amount of calories that an athlete's on, the easier it is to peak them if they're in stage condition. This show is going to be going on around 12 to 1 to 2 p.m. for Bikini. So if she wakes up pretty full and I can feed her like 1 or 2 times small little meals and very minimal liquid, we're going to keep her waist super flat and her glutes super full, which is what we want to do. So that is what we are hoping for. And if I can keep her calories around here, I don't need to increase it, that's going to be it. But if I have to increase her calories, and then that means I don't have to feed her more on show day, which is going to mean that she's going to have food in her belly on show day and she's going to have to digest it, and it's going to make peaking definitely more difficult. So less food, the better if the athlete is in contest shape.
The test me did what I ate 5 times. I saw 1 p.m. but was rice cake and almond.
Yeah.
Good.
Yeah, but we're lucky because right now, it's a good thing that Issa looks very good within, let me see how much weight this is with this kilograms here. What is this? So 59. So she looks good around 130.9 to about, let's see, to around 131.8. So it's still like a 1 pound range, but it's that's where you look the best. It's like 131 to 132 is where she looks the best. So if I can maintain that on show day, that'd be really good with the smallest amount of food and water. So
The good thing is because I can try some things now.
here's the thing that someone else asked in one of the questions is how is it changing things going into peak week? How are you doing these tests? These trial tests are not extremely useful as far as how the athlete's going to look on show day, because there's other factors that come into play. What you need to test is foods that the athlete digests well. So that was our main thing, was how much water can she take in before she looks bloated, and which foods does she digest well without being bloated? Those are the two main things, right? And she mentioned to me that in Texas, I gave her almond butter and rice cakes on show day to kind of keep her level. And she felt like as soon as she ate the almond butter, she got bloated, right? But then she tried like raw almonds and that didn't bloat her at all, which is kind of weird. But I mean, if that's the case, then, I'll work with that.
Percent true, but that is almond and almond. It's just a different way. But with the raw almond, I feel better.
So she doesn't have almonds or almond butter right now in her diet. So, I'm going to introduce some in peak week so her body gets acclimated to it. But that's why we did this now, because she mentioned that in Texas and I remembered. And we're like, well, let's try it again and see if the same thing persists. So we did that one day and then we did with the raw almonds and then her belly felt much better. So that's what we're probably going to do on show day, assuming everything goes as planned. So yeah, there's so many variables and different things that could happen. It's not like you can like plan a peak and be like, okay, this is what we're doing on show day. And you write it down in stone and like, nope, we practiced this a week ago. This is what we're doing. That's not how things work because the athlete's body can change very quickly. This is a good gauge on which food she's able to digest and how much water she's able to drink, because that usually is going to stay the same, but the food quantities could change. So you can't just have a set plan in stone and be like, that's what it's going to be. At least you have some type of idea. Some athletes get really, really bloated on a certain amount of water, and you can typically see that with an athlete. So it's like if I gave her a liter of water and her belly was already really bloated, then let's say the next day we can try like 250 mLs of water and see where her belly is at in comparison with her fullness and how much liquid she drank, and then we can go from there. So that's kind of what we did. And Issa gets bloated pretty quickly when she drinks water. So we want to try to I want her to be at a point where she wakes up on show day like pretty damn full and I don't have to give her that much water. If she wakes up shredded and then that's kind of what happened in Tampa. Like I gave her a decent amount of water in Tampa and it made her crazy full, but her belly was a bit bloated. So it's a little bit of a game you have to play, and there's a little bit of luck involved with it too, peaking.
Because we have a lot of things to do. A lot of like press conference, meet and greet, and
A lot of stress. A lot of girls too, if you're at the Olympia and you're watching this, like at the press conference and just standing around talking to people, your brain is going to be burning a lot of calories. So your weight can drop very, very quickly. And you need to make sure that you bring like extra water. Don't leave your meals in your room. Make sure you bring your meals, eat on time, make that a priority, right? Being at the Olympia. Because all the stress and being in that environment is definitely going to burn a lot of calories. So you need to be on top of it and not fall behind, because then you're going to give yourself problems going into the Olympia. So anything else to add there? Is there anything you would have changed in your bodybuilding career if you can go back in time?
No. I think everything I did, everything happens for a reason. And everything I did in the past makes me be even now. But I know, like everything I did, I learned it and I get experience. So, and I don't change nothing because it didn't bring me to now.
Yeah, exactly. It's like every experience you go through, whether it's good or bad, you're going to learn from. You have to go through hard times to be able to get better. There's not really much I would change. It makes you the person you become. And hopefully whenever you make mistakes or wrong turns in your life, you learn and you adjust. You make sure that you don't make the same mistake again, and then you continue to improve and grow. No one has a linear life of perfect scenarios and perfect situations where everything is going well and there's no mistakes. Every single billionaire entrepreneur or top athlete has had low points or very hard times and had to overcome. And if you're like, well, I wish I didn't have those, then they wouldn't be nearly the person that they were. That's not a real existence.
Yeah. When I remember something on this, maybe I could do different ways, but okay, what I learned with this, and now I can do better, or the next time I know how to do.
The only thing that maybe someone could regret, I feel, is if they do the same mistake over and over and over again with anything in life, not even bodybuilding, because then it's like, then you're kind of dumb. But if you do a mistake once and you learn from it, it's really hard to regret it, because, I mean, you're going to have to deal with those things in life.
Yes.
What is your biggest fear?
It's a secret.
Chocolate.
Fear?
Fear. Like you're scared. What, something that makes you very scared.
I don't think about too much about this. But
You know what it is? It's if a light falls or a ring light falls or a camera falls, she freaks out. Just like now, the light fell before it and she yells like there's someone that just died. When the light falls and then it's going to crash down the floor and you freak out and you yell, and it gives me a heart attack every time. Issa, what just happened? Yeah,
And
biggest fear is the light falling because it's like I almost had a cardiac arrest.
my reaction is,
I'm like, what just happened?
wait, I literally don't know. Like some time ago, I told about my thing, my grandfather died or something. But I put in my mind, this is or future. So everyone will be one day. So I just need enjoy the time now. So, but without this, I really don't know. Oh, every time when I go to the airplane to go to some travel, I feel a little like to think it'll be my last. Without I started
Yeah.
the airplane
Crashing?
crashing. Yeah, I don't know. So I think it, but I don't have a like something to think.
Yeah, every time.
So,
Yeah. Me, I don't like sharks that much.
yeah.
Yeah, you can't really. I mean, everyone has like some type of fears, like heights or, fears of failures and stuff too. But if you dwell too much on that, I mean, there's a higher chance that if you're thinking about it all the time, then it's gonna come true. So it's better to just be positive and not deal with those things.
Yeah. Yes. But now I'm thinking one thing is my fear is like when I in more 30 years, I don't have big thing that for me is like really happiness. Like don't don't build like the things for me is important.
Like, what's important for you to have by 30 years old?
For me, it's like doing a good thing on my career. It's not only as a kid, but impact like the other lives too.
Hmm.
Change your other lives and have my family go a lot of things I wanna do.
Specific things that you can say that you can quantify, where it's like, okay, I want to have like 2 kids by 30 years old. I want to have this amount of money. I want to have this success in my career.
I think it's involved all my life, like on sport, on career, relationship, and everything.
Yeah, I think a lot of people might fear that, but I think you're doing pretty good. You're very smart. You went to school, you have a degree, you're making good money too. Your career is going well. Everything's going pretty good for you right now. So the thing is, you put in the work and the time at a young age. I've known you for a while now, and you're very smart. You work very hard, but you work effectively. So you're not just like working hard doing nothing. You're building your coaching team. You're making good money from your sponsors too. A lot of athletes, though, like all they do is they put all their time and energy into bodybuilding and don't build any side business. And then once bodybuilding is done, they have nothing. You went to school, right, to be a dietitian. You have a degree, and then you have your coaching team, and you're working all the time. So it's like you set yourself up in a good way like that. But I understand the aspect of wanting a family by a certain age and stuff like that too. But I feel like for you, you've done everything pretty damn good where you're going to feel proud of yourself. It's important to feel proud of yourself. And at a certain point in life, I'm sure a lot of people will be like, well, I'm 32 and I still don't have this and this. And it's like, a lot of the reason why that happened is because of the decisions we made going up to that point, right? We decide the life that we're going to have, and what your life is just the sum of all of your decisions and actions. If you make the right choices, then you're probably going to have everything you want. If you don't, then you're not. So that's what our life is all the choices that we make up until the point where, we want it to be. So I think your decisions have been pretty good. I know you're very smart though. That's why, like, you're not just like you go to the gym and you train, like you're very smart, you work very hard, like you're very organized. So it's like, I think you have a good situation that you should be proud of. And one thing too, I was talking about Isa. What's good with her is that she doesn't need a boyfriend to support her financially because you're very independent, right? You have your own coaching team, you pay your own mortgage, like you pay all your stuff, you have no one to help you do this. And I was like, it's so good for her because you can choose whatever boyfriend you want. You know what I'm saying? A lot of girls, what they do is like, they're not financially stable and they depend on a guy to give them like some financial help, and then they live with them. If the relationship ends up not working out or they're not like happy, then sometimes they stay with the guy because they don't have their own financial support. But at least you can choose who you want to date because you can just do it based out of love and not because you have to. Like, so that's a really good aspect for you. And you built this independence in yourself with your decisions. You know what I mean? So you're in a good position for that.
Yeah, it's because I always think I saw some research about this, and I was, oh my God, I don't like this. Like, I wanna be able to do my things. To like, I wanna go to biking thing or travel. I can do
You
this.
don't have to ask anyone. Yeah.
I like this, and I don't wanna be like dependent for someone. since I was a kid, I to work, do something to have my own money and to do my things. Like, yeah, if I ask to my dad, I need buy something. Okay, do this, and after I give the same money to you, and you can buy. So I always learn it. The I need work to have something and to be independent.
Yeah, well, that's why you're in the position you are now. So, and that's really important for you because you've seen like relationships where let's say that the guy is like not very nice, but he like the girl needs to be with him. She has no other way to, support herself financially, and that's a sucky situation to be in because you're stuck. You're in a relationship you don't want to be in, but you have to be in it. You never want to be in that situation, but with you, it's like, no, you're fine. You can live on your own. You've lived on your own for a long time. You pay your own stuff. We never depended on anyone before, so that's really good for you.
Yeah,
You have your choices.
yes, and as long as like when I want some present, I like to like, okay, take it off this part.
No, no,
Uh,
go, go, go.
No, it
No,
won't.
no, it's fine. Pug.
Because we can like it's maybe it's same level because we can do the same. I love travel, so
Yeah.
for me it will be hard. Like I date someone can't travel with me or do some the things with me.
Yeah, but that's usually not the situation for the guy to be in. It'd be pretty sad if you're dating a guy that you can't afford to travel, but you can. Then you're dating
Yeah,
below your level. At least you should be even as a woman,
yeah,
You don't want to date a kid or you're their mom, you have to pay for their stuff.
yeah. A woman and I work to.
Yeah.
I think so. For me, the man needs this too.
Yeah, to work also. Now,
To work, like go to work and do the things and build the things.
it's nice for a guy to be able to see his girlfriend or whatever working hard and have ambitions and goals, be doing things every day because it's motivating for him too. It's like, well, I better be working too. It'd be kind of weird if my wife has to support me and pay for my stuff. Yeah, you don't want to do that, but it's good that you don't have to date anyone because you can support yourself financially and you have choices. When you have financial freedom and you can support yourself, it opens up a lot more choices in life and your relationships, and you don't have to date someone just because of that. You date someone because you love them. It's going to be a dating show now. I didn't know.
Uh-huh.
Does Issa want to win 20 pro wins by the end of 2024?
No, because I have 15 titles, and for this I need 5 more shows this year. So we are going to Olympia, and
Do you care how many shows you won or not really?
I don't know, I only have 4 Olympians.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking too. Like I asked her, because someone asked this question, I asked her, I was like, hey, do you want to win 20 pro wins before the end of 2024? I'm like, do you even know how many pro wins you have? She's like, I don't know. Let me check. So she like,
Copy.
I don't know. I don't really care about that number. I've never asked an athlete that number either because it's just like, for me, it's like the Olympia. Like I don't feel like there's that much of a point to gaining a lot of small wins, right? I prefer to focus on the big ones. If you're like collecting like little wins here and there, and it's just like, I don't know, there's a number, but it's like, what is the value of the number? I'd rather the quality versus the quantity, right? Like I'd rather you win 3 Olympias and have 10 pro wins and have 100 pro wins and never win Olympia, right? The quality for me is much more important than that. So
Yeah, for me too.
yeah.
For you, I ever and ask me, I really don't know.
You get asked that a lot?
Yes.
Really?
Yes. Because for me, it's Olympia. I have 1 Olympia and I will,
You could win. If you win 20 more pro shows that you don't win the Olympia,
yeah.
again, I think people would be like, that's not good. Like that's bad. But if you won the Olympia one time, it'd be your biggest comeback. It'd be the biggest comeback in bodybuilding history ever if you won the Olympia again. So that would mean a lot more.
Yes, one thing, when I won my first Olympia was 3 years. And now after my first Olympia win, till now it's 5 years.
Just crazy.
I don't know, I'm good know about everything, but now I have more time trying again.
But it's also like the comeback would be like no one's ever won Olympia and then went to 9th place and then won again. I don't even know if anyone's ever won a title again besides Jennifer Doria and Jay Cutler. Who else? Brendan Hendrickson? Did he win and lose? Maybe. There's not many, but no one's. Yeah, but Jay Cutler was first and second. Jen Doria was first and second. Brendan was first and second. You would be first 9-1. That's never happened in bodybuilding history ever. So if you do win, it would be the biggest comeback ever in bodybuilding history. So yeah, let's do it. What's your favorite part of working with James?
The patient, you put in the prep and everything. You love to do this and
The patients?
patient they love. like
Okay, the love, passion.
passion.
Okay.
Yeah, the passion reflecting all work, like everything. It's like I wanna win Olympia again, and you wanna this too. So we put
We're
the
at,
same level for work. And that's I want too much, and you will not. Or I for me to I'm not okay if I win or not. And you want a lot. So it's the same level.
amount of effort, yeah, for
Yeah.
the same goal.
And you always pushing more and taking me off of my comfort zone, so I can improve a lot of this. I want to say thank you so much because when I started with you, after I was after my ninth place at Olympia, and I was like, maybe I need to stop because I was ninth place. What
Yeah,
I
you
will
went
do
down.
now, and so but after I thought no, okay, was not my best mistake, but I need to find another way. And you gave me all motivation again. This was really important for me.
I like that answer. They're both aligned, like with the same goal. We both put the same amount of effort because it's true. Even from a coach's perspective, like if an athlete has so much potential, but they don't put in the work, they're not as motivated, and you care about prep and competing more than them for them, it sucks. But also from an athlete's perspective, if you have big goals to turn pro or qualify Olympia or whatever, and your coach doesn't care, it also sucks. But it's really good when both the athlete and the coach are aligned and you're both putting in the same amount of effort to achieve the same goal. Because it's like you're a good team, and like when you do win again, it's gonna feel very good for both of us because we know we work so hard for this every day. Like it's an everyday process, and it's a teamwork. So yeah, I like that answer for sure.
And
Training with Cruz, what's different about training with him?
yeah.
Yeah,
The difference for training alone or
training alone or training with someone else versus him.
I like training singing because we have the same methodology. Like we think
We all train,
yes,
have the
we all
same
train
idea,
the same idea, like full
range of motion.
range of motion and a slow and control.
When he trains you, he trains with you, right? Too.
He trains with me.
Yeah.
No, just some if he's shoulder or back.
Okay. He doesn't do glutes every day
Yeah.
like you.
Almost every day.
Yeah. So she has a personal trainer named Cruz in Brazil, and I have a workout split for her. And we have like a 13 or 14-day split we can go over after, but he'll train her for the exact amount of exercise that I tell him to do and follow the thing too. So it's really nice to have a trainer that never gets in the way. Sometimes you'll have, I call them bodybuilder boyfriend, where they think they know more.
Yeah,
And then they change things. Oh no, this is going to be better. This is better. He's like, no, do what James tells you to do, and I'll follow with you. And then we all team, we're all a good team together. Cause and he doesn't like check your diet and stuff or this and that. Like you don't want too many cooks in the kitchen. So it's like, I have my job, he has your job to train you, and everything works very well together.
Oh. And always when he has some idea or suggestion, he asks you James first, and if
Yeah.
we for some exercise or something, but he follows everything.
Yeah, that's the best way to do it. A very good personal trainer, and you can get the most out of the coaching part. You don't want to be in a position where your coach is telling you to do something and then someone else is telling you to do something else. Because if too much of a conflict there, and then someone's feelings are going to get hurt, and you're not going to get the most out of it either. That's the best situation that she's in. You have a coach who listens exactly what they tell you to do, and then if you're someone else is like in your ear and stuff too, like make sure that they stay like in their lane. But yeah, we've never had a problem. That's really good. Because usually if an athlete hires me, they'll trust what I tell them to do. But it's like, oh, my trainer told me I should do this instead and this and this. And sometimes they'll actually say, yes, that's a good idea. But other times it's like, no, like, he says like, oh, my trainer said I should do this split instead. And it's like a bodybuilder split where it's like shoulders, arms, chest, back, glutes once. It's like, no, we're not doing that, but it's very rare.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And he never asks like, why this? No,
Yeah.
just follow.
So how is it? Have you trained with other trainers before or what?
Yes, in 2022.
With the older guy?
Yes,
Good?
he is. I love him. Like he's like a father. So I guess he's so cute, but methodology is so different. Like
Yeah.
he work more with men, Cruz too, but Cruz I
can
was
adapt.
with first, yeah,
Turn
the
around.
first became with him, but he adapted everything and follow what you told for us about the other side and everything. And the other, I love him, but it's like my friend too and his wife. But the methodology is so different.
Did he make your workout split before or no? Where's
Mm.
Ricardo?
Yeah, in
Before you
time.
joined my team.
card made the split,
Yeah.
and I do the exercise. And
So that guy didn't change your split or what? Okay.
but the exercise, it was like just do. Like don't care about the movement,
Form and
the
stuff like that.
form.
Yeah. More like
Just move.
weight and just like
Yes,
whatever.
yes.
Yeah, it's hard to be a bodybuilder and have there is a lot of similarities between bodybuilding training and bikini training because you do got to push to failure. You do got to do full range of motion, but it's overall different training. Like I see a lot of these old school trainers in the gym and they'll give a bikini athlete a workout plan. It's made for a bodybuilder. They're training glutes once per week and they had chest in their programs and training arms on arm day. It's just ridiculous, and things. Yeah, a lot of the old school guys will do that.
Yeah, and for me it's hard because I studied this too, and my graduation, I know the things too. Once we did like 900 reps for shoulders, like
Yeah,
a
yeah.
small muscle. And for me, I after that, I asked him, like, I think this is not good because I'm eating so low calories and I just burn muscle.
Yeah. Like cardio at that point.
Yeah. And no, you are not burn muscle. Oh,
School for this too, so she knows a lot
yeah.
about it. In Brazil, it's crazy. Like if you want to be a personal trainer, you need like a degree, like a bachelor's degree or something, right?
4 years.
Or
Yeah.
even like make a diet plan, you need like a bachelor's degree.
Yeah, true. I start next year.
They're very serious there with
For
these
four
things. So
years.
yeah, like I had an inquiry the other day and a girl sent me like she's a bikini athlete, she sent me like her poses, her front and back pose. And I was like, what is your training split? I'm like, because she was built like a bodybuilder. Like her shoulders were big, her arms were big, she had no glutes, she had like chest. I was like, something is wrong. Like you're built like a bodybuilder because that's how you're trained like a bodybuilder. Your workout split is focused more on upper body and size and no glutes.
Mine was like this.
One of the questions here was, what did you guys do differently as far as Issa's training to get her tie into her glutes better? The second she sent me her workout, I was like, oh, this is going to be easy because she was training glutes like once a week. And now we tested it. She's able to recover by training glutes like 3 times a week. Her glutes are growing and she's recovering enough to train again the next time. If an athlete's making really good progress on their glutes, training it 3 times a week, they're recovering and that's working, and your glute evolution, like people don't know how good your glutes are right now. It's crazy. When people make the predictions at the Olympia and they have, oh, Issa like 6th place, like, no, like they're thinking of what you looked like last year. We're going to make last year's shape look like a joke. Like it's not even close, but yeah. And then also when she came to train with me in January, before that, she was like doing like hip thrusts, like really like heavy, like on a Smith machine, like 6, 7 plates. And I was like, let's go lighter. Let's take her time, go through the range of motion. And then she got the 2 plates that she was doing with me. It felt like 6 because you're going slow and then you're contracting up really hard and you're taking your time instead of just like going through the movements and swinging. So that way you're going to have better joint longevity because you're not going to be burning out your joints and your hips and everything. And you're going to get the best out of it because you need to contract the muscle and go through the movement and have that connection with your muscle. If you're just throwing weights around all day, you're not going to really build muscle as well as you will if you actually go through the movement and focus on contraction.
And you told me to train glutes like in heavy, like I tell it's not heavy about the weight, it's heavy like really train glutes.
Going
like,
to failure.
yeah.
Yes, like add the half reps at the end.
Because you need train because you need more density. For this, you need train.
A lot of people, they'll do like 12 reps and then they'll stop. 99% of the people that send me like a training video, I'm like, if I was there, I can make you do 2 times as many reps with the same weight. I guarantee you, just by being in your ear and telling you, no, 5 more, no, 5 more. And when you literally cannot lift the weight anymore off the ground, that's when you're at failure. And you got to be able to develop this mindset and be able to do it on your own when you're at the gym. Like all these top bodybuilders, they do this on their own. You know what I'm saying? And you got to, if you're too scared and you're like, I don't want to push to failure and you're stopping at a certain point where your body is not going to grow because it's too easy, I mean, you're not going to get anywhere. And when I was training with Issa, like I really pushed her. I would make her do, let's say 12, 15, 18 reps, full range of motion. And she's like, I'm done. I'm like, no, you're not. And we do like 8, 9, 10 half reps at the end. And she'd be like, holy fuck, that was crazy. You feel like a crazy burn and something that you never felt before, being stimulated by an intense amount of load and stress. And that's what's going to cause your muscle to grow. And yeah, your glutes have grown a lot this year compared to like even much more than last year.
I'm too excited.
Olympia. Yeah, I was thinking about last time, I was like, these people that are making these predictions, they're thinking of your look last year. First of all, they weren't at Tampa, so they didn't see how crazy you looked. And I was talking to her, it was like, she's gonna like win the Olympia this year. I was like, I don't know about that. We'll do our best, but it's like anyone that thinks Issa's gonna be like 6th place or something, like was not at Tampa Pro. When she walked on stage, it was like, holy shit, who was that? It looked like you won the Olympia, like you were the Olympia winner walking on the stage. Like it was unbelievable. And All the judges, everyone around me was like, that was the best Issa I've ever seen. Everyone, that was a consensus in the audience, you know? So people that like say those things and they're like, oh, I have Issa in 6 because it's like, you don't know what's going to happen. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, it's not happening. There's a lot happening. Are you crying or what? Why?
How do I think about Olympia?
Brazilians are so emotional, by the way. I'll say this to Issa. It's like Brazilians are the hardest to coach because they're so emotional and always crying about nothing. No, but they work very, very hard, but they're very emotional. And like, there was like a Brazilian athlete, like on the other day, like the favorite thing to do is to post the stories with the crying and like 5 paragraphs of text on their freaking story. I was like, oh my God, that's such a Brazilian thing to do. Um, is it difficult to live together? Yeah.
And they kind of different. Like
Yeah, that's the only thing.
yeah, you're all the I mean we don't know it because we work like working,
Yeah,
but
they lost napping.
we're all like
Yeah.
we were you don't meet during the night
Yeah.
and in the day you work and sleep work
Yeah.
and for me like at my night I sleep and during the day I wake up.
So I messed up, but she's normal, is what she's saying.
Yeah. I had a normal and leave. I had a crazy.
Yeah. Yeah, the only thing is I go to bed or then like to set my alarm and wake up and get out of my sleep, put my clothes on, do the check with her at 5 o'clock is very tiring. Then I go back to bed. And then also going to the gym, you know, we have to drive to the gym. I got to train extra time throughout the day. So kind of like mess up my schedule a little bit, but it's what we got to do to like win the Olympia and be the best you can be. And that's what I'm going to do. But yeah, Issa's like when she, like 99% of people that asked me to live with me, I would have been like, no, but Issa's like the least annoying person ever. She's very quiet, stays in her spot. She always cleans up after herself. She's not dirty at all. You could live here forever and it would be fine. Like she's not annoying at all. She does nothing that annoys me. Except for my house smells like fish. That's it.
Yeah.
Oh my God. It's not bad when you're inside, but like when you're walking in the hallway and you're like, what the fuck? Besides that, yeah, I can't date a bodybuilder because my house doesn't smell like fish.
But you like my dad.
Yeah, I'm changing it. No more fish. You're just gonna eat ice cubes. That's it. My house is gonna smell perfect.
Ice cube.
That's it.
Oh God.
Yeah, I gotta leave my window open and the stove fan on all day because I don't want any fish smell everywhere. It's the worst. My husband is a fan of yours, James. Could you mentor him? We are willing to pay as much as necessary. That's funny. I've done this a couple times before. I don't have a specific like program stuff for that, but I could coach your girlfriend or your wife and mentor you on how to do it and what I'm doing and the process. I could go into detail, have a call with you every couple weeks and explain things to you. My mindset behind it and why I'm deciding to do certain things over other things. I did that with someone else and it worked really good, but I'm not going to do it for cheap because it's a lot of extra work and to teaching what took me 9 years to learn and to be the best at what I'm doing. It's a lot of time and effort and money that I put into it and stuff too. So probably like double the price of the cost of coaching at least. What's the biggest challenge in working with Issa? What would you say it is?
No,
What would you say it is?
I don't know what.
You got to ask, what's the most challenging part of working with Issa? What would you say?
Because I always tell I need push more. I'm not getting enough, and sometimes I'm so insecure.
Yeah, so I think the thing is with Issa is like she was a very hard worker, but she's very hard on herself too. Like she never, it's very rare that she sees herself in the perfect light. So there's positives and negatives to that. If you have an athlete that always thinks they're the best and they're cocky, they're not going to work as hard because they think they're already so good. You have an athlete that thinks that they can be better. They're always going to try to do things to make them better. But the problem with that is sometimes they do too much and it's like, they don't see the reality of the situation. So it's like Issa, like the one thing I think with Issa that I wish I could be better is like, she takes things day to day instead of looking at the long term. So it's like, for example, let's say we have to lose like 1-2 pounds by like the Olympia week, right? And we have 3 weeks. She'll think we need to get it done today and do like, let's say I want to do 3 hours of cardio just to get it done instead of like gradually going into it and look at the long term. So it's like one day, let's say like one day you're bloated, right? Oh, I got to cut my carbs. I got to do more cardio. Instead of looking at the whole picture, it's looking specifically at this one situation, this one picture that we just took and one video and having to fix it right now. That's not how prep works. That's basically just like insecurities and thinking that she needs to sometimes be leaner. After you start eating food and you're getting a little bit of water weight on you, like I'm bloated, I don't want to do a video. And I'm like, we're doing a damn video. I want to check your body. So it's like that. Some athletes where they don't care, they'll be like, yeah, you can check me 20 times a day and I'm fine. But it's like Issa to get her to do a check-in later on in the day and check her weight. She'd rather just see herself at the best in the morning, you know? But as a coach, my job, I make her do it because I'm like, we got to do this. At best, I get you out of your comfort zone. We were talking about, I asked her, what would you do if we stopped working together? I was like, I made a joke and she's like, I would coach myself. And I was like, I think you'd be the worst athlete ever to coach yourself. She would go on stage at like 20 pounds and you like freaking, you
Yeah.
get into your head a lot. And you need someone to like tell you, no, it's going to be fine. We're fine. Like it's good. Everything's looking good. Like you need like reassurance sometimes to make sure that you're on the right track. And then you're like, okay. But it's a lot easier now than when we started work together because when we started work together, you didn't know like if you can trust me fully yet, you know? So it took a bit of time to like, for you to really develop like trust in me. And if I tell you something's going to be okay, then you know I make good decisions and it's going to be okay. But at the start, it's like, no, I'm this. It's like, it wasn't that bad, but it was definitely a lot harder our first couple shows. And now it's like, if I tell you to do something, I could trust you. I know you're going to do it. I get questions. Sometimes I have athletes in peak week often. They'll tell me, oh, you think I'm ready? I don't look good. I'm like, they're like, am I the only one that feels this way? I'm like, you realize every single top athlete I've ever coached in bikini has told me they don't look good. Like going to shows or like even going to Olympia or asking me like, do you think I look good? Like all the top ones I've coached, Jen, Laura Lee, especially Laura Lee, like Issa, there's so many, all my Olympian athletes, I've always said, like, do you think I'm ready? This, that, like, so it's not just amateurs. Everyone feels that way because it's vulnerable, right? You're going on stage, like you're going to be there with a bikini on and showing your physique. It's not a situation where you want to be embarrassed in, when you want to make sure you're ready. So I understand why they feel that way, but they need to have confidence in their coach that they're going to make good decisions, not embarrass them on stage. What I don't like is when a coach puts athletes on stage when they know they're not ready. Like you put an athlete on stage at 50% body fat, and the athlete doesn't know. Let's say it's their first show, they don't have that much experience, and they're expecting you to like guide them to do well, and then their whole family's in the audience, and it's their first show, and they come last place because they're nowhere near ready with their posing, with their body fat, with how much muscle they have. You should know as a coach where an athlete's going to be able to go on stage and not embarrass himself and be honest about that. It's different if an athlete's like, I don't care, I'm not ready, I want to do a show in 3 weeks, and you're like, okay, like that's maybe different, but if you're doing a full prep with an athlete and you're gaslighting them and telling, no, you're great, no, you're great, no, everything's good, no, you're perfect, and then they go on stage and you come last, it's like, it was your job to tell me and you should have known that I wasn't ready, you know?
Yeah.
So I'll always be honest, and if I think she's like a little bit soft, I'll tell her, and if I think she's flat, I'll tell her, but I'm like, just, you need to trust me, because the worst thing is when an athlete doesn't trust a coach and they start doing their own thing. It's a disaster because the coach thinks you're doing something, then you're doing something else, and you need to be aligned fully to have the most success, you know, and you have to build a trust with the athlete, and the athlete has to trust you, and the athlete doesn't trust you, then they should find another coach and go with them. But you need to have that together, or else it's not going to work. But now you're not that bad now. Now if you get annoying and you're like, I'm like, Issa, I say that, Issa, and you're like, okay. You're like, okay. What's Issa's waist training routine? Does she sleep with a waist trainer? And if so, which one does she use for sleeping or training?
When I started, I used to use like 7 hours a day because I work all day at the gym, and so I use all day at the gym to train. But I never sleep because I hate sleep with some. Like for me, I need sleep free, like with nothing, like ear thing
Yeah,
or
constraint.
ear thing or
Yeah, like
or
ear, like a noise block or whatever.
I'm nothing. The
Shit like that.
yeah. So if I stay
You're not supposed to
waist
wear a waist
training,
trainer when you sleep anyways.
no,
No one does
yeah,
that. No.
no. And yes, I know from
Really?
yeah. For me, I never use it. I try it once, but when
Sounds
I go into
terrible.
the bed, no, I can't.
Nah.
And I take it off. And now I use on my workouts, on my workout.
You don't do it in a day?
Now,
Yeah. Most people, depending on, well,
sometimes I use.
depends on their genetics. I mean, a lot of athletes would benefit by using it like 7, 8 hours a day. But Issa prefers wearing a waist trainer while she's training instead of a belt. But you can go either or. But you should, because you want to keep those, you know, your abdominal muscles atrophied, especially like your lower back and stuff too. Just standing up and being alive and doing exercises, you're still going to work your lower back, but you want to try to you're not going to weaken your lower back so much by wearing a belt or a waist trainer while you train to reduce like the load on it, because you're losing your lower back every day by standing, by doing anything. So, but that's going to help you not overdevelop it where it's really hurts your physique, because the bigger your waist is, the less aesthetic your physique is going to look. So it does definitely help in bikini athletes. But I make all my girls wear like a belt or a waist trainer while they're training. It definitely makes a big difference. You don't want to be growing your abdominal muscles too much. I even have a pro athlete. She's a professional horseback rider. She's been doing it for 20 years, and she has really thick abs, but it's because of that. She doesn't even train abs. So it's like she's always on the horse, and you got to brace for your core. And it's like her waist is kind of thick, but I don't know what to do to solve that, because obviously I don't want to tell her stop horse riding. Like she does it professionally. So, but yeah, that's a challenge for sure.
Yeah, I already like to use on my workouts. Just last week, from few days, I don't use it because I was happy
Because
to.
you're a bad baby.
No, it was because I want to do a video only with Poppy, and but I would like to use them. And it, like sometimes I go to the gym 6:30 in Brazil, my normal routine 6:30, and my workout is 7:15. I have my meal with me, and I stay until 10, 11. So I stay all this time with my Western.
Okay. So probably like 4 hours a
Yeah.
day or so. But yeah, that's her waist is already really small. And she knows how to train where she's not really engaging her lower back too much. But would it help her? Like, she's using it all the time when she's training. So that's really good. That's important. Like, even though your waist is small, it's going to benefit you to keep your waist small by wearing it. How can you work on lumbar mobility in the back pose? Any tips for back pose for someone with hypolordosis, flat lower back?
Well, exercise for me every day.
Yeah, there's definitely a big genetic component where people have a better lower back arch and flexibility. If your lower back is really straight, you're at a genetic disadvantage. You can do the stretches and do everything you can. There's a protocol I give my athletes to follow that they should be doing every day, and you can definitely improve it. But are you going to be able to have a crazy lower back and push your glutes out like one of these top Olympians? Probably not, because there's a genetic component. But you can definitely make the most out of it. And I've never seen anyone with such a straight lower back that they couldn't turn pro if I coached them. I haven't seen that in 9 years of coaching. So you could get it done, but are you going to be a top Olympian with that issue? Probably not. But can you turn pro? Probably.
Yeah, because you can't do the range motion.
Yeah, it's true. It impact your training, you're saying, right? Yeah. Yeah, you're right. So do the best with those. And find like a stretching protocol. I can give you obviously mine that I give my girls in Malice, but there's things you can do with the yoga wheel, and definitely make it a priority. If posing isn't your strong point, make it a priority. If you're not probably not going to want to do the things that you're not good at, but those are the things you need to work on the most. So it's like if your posing sucks, work on your posing more. If your flexibility sucks, work on your flexibility every single day. Like, you got to improve your weaknesses, right? And then you're going to have the whole package. So don't just say, oh, my lower back flexibility sucks, so I'm just going to ignore that. No, put more effort into getting it better. But there's a genetic component to it. Like I said, that, it's going to play into your success as a bikini athlete, not just from the lower back, but from the whole physique. How does her training volume differ between prep and off season?
I don't have off season.
No, you have an off season. So like her off season is just higher calories.
Yeah.
With the same, she doesn't like to eat random foods, because I think we talked about the last podcast, but you said like you like to feel good. So you don't like eating hamburgers and pasta and shit. You rather just eat like your food, like your diet food, but like more of it, and you have like more fruit and stuff like that too.
Right.
So she has an off season, but it doesn't mean she's off. It means that she's just lower cardio, higher calories, her body fat's a little bit higher and stuff too. So, yeah, I keep her training pretty much the same as far as off season and prep. I mean, she's able to handle it. I don't really believe in reducing the workload as you're getting closer to a show, because you want to keep those muscles full and you want to keep them stimulated. If you start reducing your food and then reducing your training volume, it's like your body's going to look different. I'd rather just try to keep it all the way through if you're recovering. And even if you're not recovering all the way, it's not really possible to have the same amount of recovery on, let's say, 1,200 calories as it is 3,000 calories in off season. You're going to feel tired. You're going to feel more sore. You're going to feel like more lethargic. So it's not realistic to have the same amount of recovery and energy. But if you can push through it, I think you're going to keep a lot more fullness and a lot more pop to your body than just kind of like reducing food and then coming off your training. I'd rather try to keep it the same all the way through. As far as her training volume, I can tell you guys what she's doing. So I have her on a 14-day split because a 7-day split kind of didn't work for what I wanted to do with her. So I put her on a 14-day one. So day 1 is glutes. Day 2 is medial, anterior, and rear delts, and a bit of tricep. Day 3 is hamstrings with adductors. Then day 4 is off. Day 5 is glutes and calves. Day 6 is back with more pull down movements for her lat width, bicep, and more abductions for her inner thighs. Then day 7 is glutes and hamstrings. Then day 8 is off. Day 9 is glutes, adductors again. Day 10 is delts, medial, anterior, rear delts, and tricep. Day 11 is hamstrings and calves. Day 12 is off. Day 13 is glutes, adductions again, and rear delts. And day 14 is off. So when I started working with Isa, her glutes were not bad, but they needed to grow, and she wasn't training them enough. So that's one of the first things I fixed. So I increased the frequency for as many times as she was training glutes per week. As we were growing her glutes, I realized that her legs kind of looked skinny for her glutes. So what do you do to grow your legs from the back pose when you can't build your quads? You can build your hamstrings, but the hamstrings typically will grow straight back instead of building more from the side. So I told him, I'm like, listen, we got to grow your hamstrings, but we got to really grow your adductors. So the inner part of your thighs. And that's how they close the gap between your legs. And now if go compare Issa's like last year Olympia to how she looks now in a back pose, her legs are a lot thicker from the back and her quads are much more reduced in size. And that's because of the adductions that I made her do like 3 times a week. So they're always stimulated because you gain muscle pretty quickly. So yeah, that's a big game changer because the adductors are on the inside of your thighs, and that's going to give you leg width, right? If you see these big bodybuilders that do their like back double bicep and back lat spread, the ones that have the big adductors are the ones where their legs are like touching and they're close together. The ones that have no adductors have skinny legs in the back pose. So adductors are really important for your back pose. I just gave a good free tip for bikini athletes here that are trying to grow their legs. But yeah, you can grow your quads, but that's going to hurt your front pose if your quads are too big. We actually stopped. What I changed this year was I made Issa stop doing stairs and bike completely. And that's really helped her physique because we reduced a lot of the size of her quads and the density. And now I don't have the problem at all that your quads are too lean and your back pose is not lean enough. So Issa's had this problem her entire career. Her quads would get striated, but then she would have gluteons. And if her quads weren't striated, then she didn't have gluteons. Even last year we had the same problem.
Yeah.
But that was due to like quad development. If you actually typically reduce the size of the delt, it will usually not look as lean. I've realized that too. So same thing with the quads. If your quads are very overpowering and dense, they're going to typically get leaner than the rest of your body, or at least the rest of your lower body. So I told Issa this year, I'm like, stop doing stairs, stop doing bike. I want to like, you're either jogging or we're going elliptical. I don't want any quad stimulation at all. And when she's training, she's not even hitting quads like indirectly. So no like squatting movements, no like knee flexion, nothing like that. And that's reduced the size of her quads a lot. And now I can bring her in shredded in the back pose and she has no lines in her quads anymore. So that was a big change for you because I don't have to battle between like, even last year at Olympia, a little bit where your hamstrings look really damn good. And then I'll make her a bit softer. And it's like, yeah, you have less lines in your quads, but now you have less tines. You know, now it's like, no, your tines are there and your quads, there's no lines in your quads anymore at all, which is exactly what we wanted. So that's a very big advantage and a big change that she hasn't had in her career. And it's like the first year we actually have this, and it makes my job a lot easier too, because I don't have to pick. You don't want to have to like, if an athlete's like has a proper amount of muscle in the right areas and they're leading down where they should be, your job is going to be a lot easier than having to like pick and choose one. You don't want to have to pick and choose. You want to be like, everything is perfect together. So we're at definitely a better point right now because of that. Let's see, a few more questions here. Who are your top 5 picks for the Bikini Olympia?
For you?
For me, I don't know.
Let him hold.
I don't like doing this because it just depends on who shows up and it doesn't really add any value. So I'll go based off of what I've seen in last year. I think the top 5 is going to be this unless someone comes really off. So it's going to be in any order. By the way, any of this top 5 could win based on who shows up. So there's no one, if you think like Issa's going to be 6, you're delusional. If you think that someone guaranteed beats this person, you're delusional. It's not happening. So Maureen, Ashley, Issa, Laura Lee, and Amy. I think that's the 5. That should be the top 5 this year. If they all come in as they should, that will be the top 5. If someone comes off, which someone probably will, someone's probably going to get moved out of the top 5. At the end, if all of them show up really good, as they should, then that should be the top 5. If someone comes off a little bit, someone's going to get moved out. I don't know who that's going to be. It's not going to be you. And then if someone shows up raw, someone shows up not as they should, they're going to get moved down to 6, 7. And then people that can move in, Amy, sorry, not Amy. People that can move in, Brianna, maybe Ashlyn, Vanya, potentially Evie, maybe Jordan. Who else am I missing? Probably those names you're going to see up there, I think. We're going to have 1 or 2 other wild cards that are going to show up. Usually that happens, that look like really good. But there's a lot of girls that are going to show up on that day that are going to surprise us positively and negatively. You know, like we see some top Olympians show up and we're like, fuck, what happened there? Like, oh my God. And they get moved down. And then some athletes look really good, they get moved up. So I think a top 10 is going to have like those type of names with 1 or 2 differences, but a top 5 is going to be that unless someone comes off, which someone probably will come off and get moved down. So any 5 of those girls could win. is anyone out of that top 5 going to win? I would say the chances are less than 5%, probably less than 3%. That someone that's wasn't in the top 6 last year comes in and wins the Olympia. Probably not this year. Next year, maybe. This year, no. It's going to be one of those that are going to win this year. Maureen could win. Issa could win. Ashley could win. Amy could win. Laura Lee could win. It just depends who shows up and is like, who brings it. That's it. Like, I talked to Tyler in 2020 at the Olympia when Jen came second. He was like, these results can change day to day. It depends who shows up, who peaks perfectly. It's all about the peak and how you come up on that day. If you had the show the day later, the results could literally change based on whose body shows up better. For example, at the Arnold, Laura Lee and Amy came 1 point away. If it was a different day, Amy could have won. You know what I'm saying? At the Olympia too, like Jen won, but maybe Maureen could have won if it was the next day. Like, you don't know. It just depends on, it's crazy that there's so much value and that goes into this one day. Because if you fuck up this one day, then you're screwed for the whole other year. You know what I'm saying? So you got to really make sure you nail on that day, and it's important. And I have a good track record for nailing peaks and stuff at the Olympia. I haven't really messed up anyone at the Olympia at a high level. So I have a good track record for that. So everything's going really good right now with all my athletes, and I'm really happy. We have 6 girls going to Olympia, and we'll see how that goes. But this maybe the top 5 of them comes off, which probably one of them will. So what exercises helped her develop her glute max and make her tie and spot more?
Hip press.
Hip thrust?
Yeah, it's the only exercise I do for maximum glute.
It's true, because we can't work any quads, right? So she can't do any squatting movements or knee flexion stuff too. So we're limited to the amount of good exercises that are available for glute max. So she really does like the hip thrust. And there's like a couple hamstring glute variations you do. It's like a stiff like deadlift, but like with a kind of a glute variation. But we're limited because when a girl can't build quads anymore, there's a lot of movements for the glute max you can't really do, which sucks. So, but she does hip thrust every glute day, right? She's doing it at least like 3 times a week. Focusing on my muscle connection, not just moving the weight. You know, she's not doing 7 plates, just trying to move the weight and, you know, build her lower back. She's really focusing on the squeeze at the top, like really contracting, going back down slowly. Squeeze at the top, like going through the movement. That's how your glutes are going to grow at a weight where it's very difficult to do and also push into failure. How has she mentally prepared for the Olympia? Has she worked with any sports therapists?
Yeah, I have around calling.
Psychologist?
Yes. But I stopped slowly to become how I was doing a lot of work in graduate.
I'm not your psychologist.
You and Cruz is too.
Right.
But I think she's not specific for athletes. She's for life.
Therapist?
Yeah. And I think when the things in all your life go well, prepping your mind and everything go to for Arnold. Now I can see the Arnold, this surgery, everything happened because needs help.
Needed time off. Needed to happen.
I was bad with another things too, and it was a lot of things.
Happened, yeah.
So now I'm feeling good with my work, with my relationship, and with my family. I'm always showing the prep too.
So you feel like you don't need therapy right now because everything's going good, right?
Yeah. And she sent me a message like, you don't send me nothing. Okay, I do this way just to talk a little bit, but I think so for Arnold, I was doing like 2 times a week. I was really bad.
Yeah.
Because I don't show this in the social media and nothing, but I was really bad.
Yeah, you did a whole prep for the Arnold, and then 2 weeks later you have to have surgery for your appendix. She definitely could have won that show. It's like the pull out, and then she couldn't do Arnold UK, and like couldn't train for a month. She used to train nonstop for like 7-8 years, right? And then she had to take 4 or 5 weeks off the gym. It's like, but she realized that she made a lot of improvements after because she gave her body a big break. She didn't get fat though. She still dieted and didn't eat hamburgers and stuff. And you didn't not train, not do cardio, and then eat everything you can. You still like followed a diet and did the best you can with that. So once she was able to get back in the gym, she jumped back really quickly because her body was already like somewhat lean and a reasonable amount. She didn't gain 40 pounds. And then her body was like fully rested from not training for 4 or 5 weeks. And then we build muscle pretty damn fast, and your body kind of exploded quickly. So yeah, we only did like a 3-week prep for Tampa.
20 week.
From the Arnold to Tampa, from training to not training, 21 weeks. You did? Okay, well then never mind.
I have the day I started.
Okay, well,
but I started, but the 2 first weeks was like just adaptation
for the Tampa prep, right? Yeah,
was for just adaptation.
And you were off the gym for how long? 4 or 5 weeks?
5 weeks.
Yeah. No training, no cardio.
No training. a
Not
cardio.
even boxing? You said the most hilarious thing when she's boxing in her house for 29 years. It's
Yeah,
so freaking funny.
it's for my life. Everyone asking me if it was for a part of the prep, you know. No, it's for my line. It's like
It's training. She's gonna beat you up if you start talking shit.
and it's really. I like after that, I saw a lot of athletes starting to.
You're gonna start doing MMA. You want to start fighting people in MMA?
No,
Come on.
thank you. I like saying I don't wanna. I don't want anybody suck me. Yeah.
Any show plans after the Olympia?
Yes, it's straight after Olympia. I need to Brazil. I don't leave back. I compete October 12, and I'm going back to Brazil on Monday. Next Sunday, I compete in Brazil.
So strategically, she told me, should I do it's the first Olympia Brazil that they're doing. Should I do it? I'm like, definitely do it because strategically, she does the Olympia, right? And people only remember the last thing that happened. So I was like, whether you win the Olympia, you come second or third or whatever happens, your name is going to be in everyone's mouth a week later. Because it's like the Olympia happens and this competition, the Brazil Olympia happens the week after. So I'm like, you want your name to be out there right after the Olympia, whether you win or second or third, you're going to win that Olympia Brazil. You're going to look too good. You know what I mean? So I thought that was a really good strategy for her because her name's going to be out there right after Olympia, regardless of who wins or so. I think it's just like a net positive. And then after that, she's going to go, you said you're going to go on vacation, right?
Yeah. The day after. My flight on Monday is 4 a.m.
Oh my God.
And leave the show
From,
go to the airport.
you're going to need to sleep for like 3 days after that.
It will be crazy.
Alligators in Florida.
Yeah.
So
They'll be like, I like it.
and hopefully I don't get eaten.
I know from our connection.
Yeah, hopefully we'll see. You'll be good. Yeah, and also we talked about like when she came here, we're like, should we do the Arnold next year? And she were like, yes. But I'm like, what's your goal? All Issa cares about is winning the Olympia again. She already won the Arnold. She's already won like all these major shows. She won the Olympia before. She wants to win the Olympia again because, as we were saying, we value the same thing and we want to win the Olympia for her again. So we're like, why are we going to do the Arnold again when you've won it before and you don't have anything to prove? Everyone already knows you're one of the best in the world. You've won the best title in the world. And it's like, we saw how much your body changed after you took 5 weeks off of the gym because you had to have the surgery. We were thinking Issa has never had a full 8 or 9 month break without competing in her entire career. She always did Olympia, Arnold, and another show in the summer. Olympia, Arnold. So it's like every quarter or every trimester, she's doing a show. So it's like we've never had a time where we could just like, relax, have time with your family, grow, have a good off season. It's like, imagine we have like a full 9 months to grow until we'll probably do Tampa and Texas again next year because it's a good benchmark to see where she's at in the year with not too long of a difference between the shows. So it's like, I think it's like an 8-week difference or something. So it's like, we get feedback from Tyler. And they have 8 weeks to just kind of maintain and chill. And then if there's something she needs to improve on, we have time to fix it. So it's like, that's a perfect gauge and perfect timeline for her. So I think we're going to stick to that, not do the prep for the Arnold. Because then you're going to have a lot of time to grow and give your body a little bit of a break. And the improvements we're going to make next year is going to be even crazier. Strategically, I think we decided this. Plus winning the Arnold doesn't mean you win the Olympia. Lori won the Arnold 3 times in a row now, and she didn't win the Olympia yet. So even if you win the Arnold and beat Laura Lee and Amy and everyone that does it, it's great, but it's like people only care about after where you place the Olympia. Like that's what people want to see. You can win the Arnold or this show or that show 500 times. Like people want you to see who wins the Olympia. Jen Dory lost to, I think, did Jen Dory come third at the Arnold against Maureen and Laura Lee or no? I think she came third. I think, yeah, because Maureen won the, I think Jen came third at the Arnold. It could have been second, but I think it was third. Because Maureen won the Olympia, right? And then Jen, Laura Lee, and Maureen did the Arnold right after. I think Laura Lee won, Maureen came second, Jen came third. So it's like, who's remembering that Jen came third at that Arnold that she just did? No one, because she just won the Olympia. So it's like, everyone has short-term memory loss. They just care about who plays at the Olympia. At least I do, and I think that matters the most. So, like no one cares about that, you know? Was it 2023 or was it? Yeah, it was 2023. Yeah, so it didn't really make a difference on placing. It didn't really help Laura Lee at the Olympia either. So I think for just the pros versus the cons, I think it's better if we just take the Arnold off and let people battle out the Arnold. I'll be there with probably other athletes, but I think for you strategically, we need to give your body a little bit of a break because we saw a huge growth spurt after your body took some time off. Yeah, everything happens for a reason, because maybe if that didn't happen, then you would have done the Arnold again next year. It's like everything terrible that happens usually happens for a reason. What are you most excited about at the Olympia this year?
About everything. So I'm so excited for this year. When I went to Tampa and Texas, I was with one expectation, and now I'm going to with another vision, another
Expectation?
yes, expectation.
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 Good.
Yeah, and I'm so excited for everything because everything happened at Olympia press conference, meeting with to see everyone, and especially for the show because I want to show all work we did for all the judges at Olympia. So
Yeah, it was a really good feeling after Tampa where it's like, that was her best ever. Like, your feedback since you won the Olympia, like, it was like, he said the best look was the 2019 Olympia. Like, no matter what show you did after the Olympia, for 4 years, they told you that was your best look, that was your best look. And finally, we heard that was her best look. And it was like, wow, like, we were better than when you won the Olympia.
yeah,
And I even heard from other judges too that you were better than like people won the Olympia after you too. So I was like, wow, this is a good sign because we're on the right track. So we're making the right decision. So yeah, I'm excited too for the Olympia. It comes by so fast every year, you know? I'm excited for after prejudging because it's so stressful. Like for me, like it's like everything we put into your whole life, like coaching these girls all day long, and it's like the peak is good, and then whenever after the prejudging goes well, it's like okay, you at least know what's probably gonna happen at the final, and it's like you can de-stress, and it's like I'm can't wait till after prejudging after this.
yeah,
Yeah, it's a fun experience, but as a coach, it's stressful to be at that. You know.
yeah, we're partly too. We are like,
Yeah,
God,
you don't know. Your whole life is on the line almost.
yes.
Does Issa include veggies in her diet, and do you ever reduce them?
Yeah, I
She eats a lot of veggies, but she does this because I'm monitoring it though. Like she's not going crazy and eating 20 salads a day and having all kinds of like tomatoes and stuff with sugar and carrots. She's not doing that, but it's very important that you don't do that if you're on very low calories because the calories add up a lot. If you're having like big salads all day long, you're supposed to be on 900 calories. You're gonna definitely, hurt a lot of your progress if your coach thinks that you're eating X amount of calories and you're eating all this extra. The vegetables add up in calories, definitely. You can eat some vegetables here and there, not like corn or peas or tomatoes where there's like a lot of sugar. And then we reduce it like in peak week for sure because it definitely does bloat her.
I have a salad. Big salad, and another meal I have like mushrooms. What I eat is mushrooms, and for salad is lettuce and onions and sometimes.
That's good. But don't do this without your coach knowing though, because it could add up to a
Yes.
lot of calories, especially the mushrooms and stuff too. Doesn't seem like a big deal. And it's not if you're at 2,000 calories during the off season, but in prep, if you're supposed to be on, 900 calories for a certain amount of time to get like the last bit of fat off, and you're stuffing yourself with like all these veggies, they will add up in calories for sure. How do you choose the right bikini color?
I hate James.
Yeah.
Soon.
She never likes them. And then she's like, oh my God, it's the best thing ever. It's so funny.
I just thought I like blue, and wait, he tell if Maya.
Margaret, yeah, Tux Angels. But it's like, she tried on the red. She's like, this is terrible. It's so ugly. And then at Tampa, it was like, everyone's like, holy crap, that red was crazy.
Was
Yeah.
beautiful.
Yeah, I have a good eye for the bikini color. And Margaret, too, is really, really good at helping with that. But like what I do for my Team Atlas girls is we have like a document of like probably 50 suits that I really like. And I'll allow them to choose like the top 3 favorite from those. And then I'll tell them my suggestion for my favorite one. Because like some suits don't look good on certain girls, but all the suits in that document look good. There's always something wrong. Like they don't know how to make suits. The cups are too big or too small. If you can use Tux Angels and you follow like the guy, your suit's going to be good. But if you have this, like all these like, what I don't understand is when these girls, they have like these sponsors to save like $400 on a suit, and the suit ends up being terrible because their back cut is not good, or didn't shape their glutes properly, or their top isn't good for their upper body. And it's like you did all that work, all that time, all that money to save what, $400, $500, that you could have spent on like a different suit. And then you rather want to stage with a shitty suit. Like it doesn't make any sense. So don't get sponsored by random companies that aren't like Tux Angels. Do you still have a healthy relationship with food, or do you have thoughts from the eating disorder that you used to have?
Not with food. I think I'm okay because like I can do a cheat meal and I have a one hamburger that I like. I eat, and I'm not like I don't eat because I'm scared of this. Or the first dessert, the
Dessert, yeah.
dessert. I don't think I like is brown.
Brown?
I like brown.
You like brown for dessert?
Brown.
Brownie. Oh, was it?
Cream. Yeah.
I like
Got
yellow
it.
for dessert. So
What?
I don't think I've ever seen you eat a brownie.
Brownie?
I never seen you eat a brownie.
No, after Texas, you gave me.
Maybe you ate it in the secret.
You want really?
Yeah, don't talk about them.
But it's not all times. Like there was, yeah, there was a bite. I don't like too much sweets because I do my pancakes, everything for me it's
She
enough.
has like these healthy pancakes. She has like oatmeal and bananas and all.
Things like I do with carrots, with milk spread. I do something.
She's not scared to eat food, but she likes to feel good. And she knows which foods make her feel good. Yeah.
I don't like see my the problem for me is see my weight up.
Yeah.
If I keep
Which is annoying for me, but
working,
yeah.
I keep working this, and I don't want to feel bloated or something like this because I feel bad.
No.
For me, in off season is hard, but I know it's a process I need.
And you can't be shredded all year round. Issa will never get fat. She always looks like an athlete, but that's what healthy body fat in the off season where she's not like shredded.
The problem I think for a lot of athletes is because we have like the body, we know how is the body will stay, so we can't compare. And I always try and put this in my mind. I can't live with.
You feel like you regress so much because you were like at a point where you're shredded and you look really good and you have tines, and now you're like, I don't even have tines anymore and I don't even have like a six pack. But it's like that's normal. You need to get to that point, but not to a point where you're 40 pounds above stage, but a point where it's like an off season, like you need a bit of body fat, especially as a woman, to be healthy. The last question was, why do I choose to work with bikini category and not other divisions? So I made pros at every division before, except for I think open bodybuilding, but I used to coach every division, and I realized that like I have really good connection with women too, and they just listen better. They're more attentive. They're more typically organized. They follow instruction better, and they could afford it better too. So it's like, I've talked about this on another podcast. So it's like coaching guys, if you want to get a guy to the top of the Olympia, it usually takes like 10, 15 years, like an open bodybuilder. And the chances that they're paying you is very low because the second a guy has good genetics and they have a brain, someone's going to want to take them from your team and coach them for free, right? And everyone's the next wizard guru. So girls are typically more loyal and they'll stay with you throughout the course if you show them results. Like a guy, if they're 20 years old, and they have to spend all their money on gear and food, typically they can't afford coaching. The girl was like, they can pay for it. If they can't, then maybe their boyfriend or their husband or their parents, or there's usually, they have more resources for money than guys do. And guys are a pain in the ass. Like guys are emotional and they'll listen to their trainer or their friend or this or that. Like I was at the Olympia with a couple of the top like professional Olympian bodybuilders, and they're like peeking each other with their coach not even there and not even knowing what's going on. So it's like big names. And I was just like, does your coach know about this? Nah, but it's going to be fine. It's just like, oh my God. So it's like, anyways, eating cookies and having like vodka and stuff. It's going to drive me out, this and this. I'm just like, geez. And the coaches have no idea what's going on. So it's like, girls will typically not do that because they're more like trusting, and they'll, there's a few here and there that are paying them will do things and listen to other people, but those ones never get anywhere. And those ones never get far in the industry. You need to like be aligned with your coach, like we were talking before. So long answer short, I mean, they're able to afford it more. I'm able to build a business off of repeat customers and having long relationships with my athletes. I don't have to deal with guys leaving. Like guys leave after they lose one show. Like even the top bodybuilders, like they lose one show and they change coaches. If a girl loses a show and the next show they'll do really good, they'll maybe stay with you and they'll see through the process. And guys, it's like they always want the next best thing. Unless they're like a Phil Heath or a Flex Lewis where they win everything and never lose. But yeah, guys are just more of a pain in the ass. I've had guys are really great, probably like 15, 20 guys that I've coached are great and were not any of the things I said. But typically I think for business wise and what I like to do, I think the coaching bikini athlete is my favorite. I like coaching wellness too, but I made top 5 or top 6 Olympiad wellness. Every single girl that's ever joined my team in wellness is trim pro except for one. I would coach wellness athletes too, but I like to focus on bikini. I want to win the bikini Olympiad title. When I win the wellness Olympiad title one day, maybe if I have a really good athlete, I think I could definitely do it if I had the right athlete for it. I know I have the skill and the eye for it, but bikini is just my thing, and it's better to be focused on a niche than be the best at one. I'd rather be the best at one specific thing, and you're known for that, No one gets known for being the best at 20 different things.
True.
So I think that's going to sell off this podcast, guys. I really appreciate you tuning in. It's way past Issa's bedtime. It's 9:39, and she should be in bed by 4 p.m. So, yeah.
Yeah, but I'm so happy to answer these questions and the hear with you doing the prep and everything. So thanks so much for all support you all sent for me, for James.
Sounds good. Thanks, guys. We'll see you at the Olympia.